This chip is just an incredible chip. We call it the NVLink switch.
Tom Lee's shocking shift. He's no longer so sure about Nvidia's future in 2025. The once unstoppable tech leader, riding the artificial intelligence wave, now faces serious trouble. Interest rates are rising, costs are up, and its competitors are closing in. Everything seems set for victory just a few months back.
A reset after people have been ordering so many of these chips and maybe think, okay, I've stockpiled and now I don't.
But the tables have turned. Investors banking on Nvidia need to rethink their bets as the landscape grows riskier with each passing day. Let's unravel the real story behind this dramatic change and what it means for Nvidia's future. If you remember, there was a ton of optimism around the company for this year and the next, with some calling it unstoppable. Investors were betting big on it riding the AI wave, and with good reason. Back then, it seemed like everything was set up perfectly. Demand for GPUs was skyrocketing, AI was the hottest buzzword around, and this leader was riding the hype like a champion surfer on the best wave of the decade. But if we look at it now, Tom Lee's shifted gears and he's not quite as bullish as before. So what changed? The winds of fortune have taken a sharp turn and Nvidia is in real danger. The market has thrown a few curveballs, and some of them aren't pretty. First, the interest rate situation. Higher interest rates are a pain for growth stocks, and this company is definitely a growth stock. As rates rise, borrowing becomes more expensive, and companies that thrive on innovation and research and development get hit. Suddenly, those sky-high valuations look a lot harder to justify, and that's why we've seen its stock price wobble. Then there's the AI factor. Just a year ago, everyone thought AI was going to the moon, and it still might, don't get me wrong. But there's a reality setting in. AI is an incredibly expensive game. Developing models, processing data, and running those GPUs, it all costs money, a lot of it. As we've seen, the initial buzz can cool down quickly when the bill comes due. And that's where some analysts, including Tom Lee, are starting to pull back on their enthusiasm. Tom Lee also pointed out that the company's competition isn't exactly sitting on the sidelines. Rivals like AMD are not just watching them eat the whole pie, they want a slice too. They're ramping up their own GPU capabilities, and it's causing a bit of nervousness among investors. If AMD manages to undercut on pricing or pull off some tech breakthroughs, it could change the game. And that's the risk that's now being factored in. And let's not forget the global economy. Things aren't as smooth as everyone would like. Inflation is up, spending power is down, and there's uncertainty just about everywhere you look. This kind of economic environment doesn't exactly make companies want to spend big on tech infrastructure, which means the growth this giant has been banking on might not materialize as expected. Enterprise spending tightening up is a big reason why Tom Lee's got a more tempered outlook now. There's also the issue of supply chain headaches. Their products are highly sophisticated.
2 Blackwell chips and 4 Blackwell dies connected to a Grace CPU.
Meaning they rely on a wide array of components from all over the globe. With ongoing disruptions in supply chains, getting those components on time and at reasonable cost is becoming a massive hurdle. The supply bottleneck means slower production, delayed product rollouts, and missed opportunities, all leading to why the previous bullish expectations are being adjusted. Tom Lee's not saying the company is done for, not by a long shot. This powerhouse is still a leader in the GPU and AI space, and they've got a lot going for them. But the market dynamics are shifting, and it's a reminder that even the biggest players can be vulnerable to factors outside their control. It's a mixed picture, and investors need to be cautious. The days of unbridled optimism might be behind us for now, and it's time to face a more nuanced reality. In essence, Lee's revised outlook comes down to the realization that this trajectory isn't as smooth as the hype made it seem. Economic pressure, competition heating up, the slowing pace of AI adoption, and ongoing supply issues all play a role in making 2025 look less like a guaranteed win. There's still potential, but the landscape is a lot trickier to navigate now. Let's dive further into the details shaping this tech landscape. Now, let's dive deeper into these factors and explore the details that are contributing to this revised outlook for Nvidia. We need to fully understand the shifting dynamics in the tech space, and this means breaking down everything from market forces to specific economic pressures that are hitting growth stocks like this tech giant. First, let's take a closer look at the interest rate scenario. Interest rates are one of the biggest factors that can affect growth companies, and for good reason. When rates are low, borrowing is cheap, and growth companies can leverage that cheap debt to invest in new projects, research, and innovation. This was the situation for the key leader just a few years ago. But as interest rates began climbing, the cost of borrowing increased and the landscape changed. For a company reliant on ongoing investment in cutting-edge research and development, higher borrowing costs mean tighter budgets and more scrutiny on where every dollar is going. This can slow down progress on key initiatives, affect the bottom line, and make it harder to justify the lofty valuations that the company enjoyed during the boom years. When analysts like Tom Lee look at this, they see a growth trajectory that could be impacted by these increased financial pressures. Another key element is the changing sentiment around AI. Just a year ago, AI was the magic word that could send any stock soaring. This industry leader with its GPU dominance was right at the heart of this trend. It looked like AI was the new oil, a resource that everyone would need and that only a few companies could supply. But the reality has turned out to be more complex. The development of AI models is not only technically challenging, but also financially demanding. Running state-of-the-art AI models requires enormous computational power, which in turn requires vast numbers of GPUs. While this should theoretically be a good thing for the company, the truth is that the costs involved have led many potential clients to think twice. AI research is expensive, the return on investment isn't always immediate, and in times of economic uncertainty, spending millions or even billions of dollars on AI infrastructure becomes a much tougher sell. This has led to a cooling of the initial enthusiasm, and it's one of the reasons why Tom Lee and others are dialing back their expectations. Speaking of competition, let's talk about AMD. AMD has been the main competitor in the GPU space for years, but it's only recently that they've started making significant inroads into markets that this company once dominated. AMD has managed to close the performance gap, and in some cases, they've even managed to surpass the GPU giant in terms of value for money. For enterprise customers and consumers alike, price matters, especially in a tight economy. AMD has positioned itself as a cost-effective alternative, and this is starting to have an impact. For every customer that decides to go with AMD instead, that's revenue lost, and it's starting to add up. Tom Lee's revised outlook takes this into account, recognizing that the tech leader's competition is not standing still. The days when it could comfortably outpace AMD without breaking a sweat are over. Now it's a fight for every cell, and that's adding pressure to the company's growth prospects. The broader economic environment is also playing a crucial role. Inflation has been on the rise, and this affects both consumers and businesses. For consumers, higher inflation means less disposable income, which translates to fewer people buying high-end graphics cards for gaming or other personal use. For businesses, inflation means higher costs across the board, from wages to raw materials. This kind of environment makes companies more cautious about their spending, especially on things that aren't absolutely essential. For many businesses, upgrading their tech infrastructure, which often includes GPUs, falls into the category of discretionary spending. When budgets are tight, those upgrades get delayed or canceled altogether. This tightening of enterprise spending is a significant factor in why Tom Lee is now more cautious about this tech giant's prospects for 2025. Supply chain issues are another major headache for the company. Its products are among the most advanced in the world, and building them requires a vast number of specialized components, many of which come from different parts of the globe. The pandemic exposed just how fragile global supply chains can be, and the aftershocks are still being felt. Component shortages have led to production delays. And when you're dealing with cutting-edge technology, even a small delay can mean missing out on market opportunities. Competitors can swoop in, or demand can shift, leaving the tech company playing catch-up. These supply chain disruptions aren't just a temporary blip. They're an ongoing issue that continues to affect its ability to get products to market. Tom Lee's revised prediction takes these challenges into account, acknowledging that the growth potential is being hampered by factors beyond its control. Tom Lee also touched on the importance of investor sentiment. During the height of the AI hype, investor sentiment was through the roof. Everyone wanted a piece of this company, and the stock price reflected that enthusiasm. But sentiment is a fickle thing. It can turn on a dime, and that's exactly what we're seeing now. As the economic challenges mount, as competition heats up, and as the reality of AI's cost becomes clearer, investor sentiment has started to cool. This isn't to say that investors are abandoning the company, far from it, but the unbridled optimism that characterized the market a year ago has given way to a more cautious outlook. Investors are still interested, but they're also more aware of the risks, and that's leading to a more tempered approach. Tom Lee's revised prediction reflects this shift in sentiment, recognizing that the days of sky-high expectations might be behind us for now. It's also worth mentioning the regulatory environment. One of the reasons there was so much enthusiasm for the company was the belief that the regulatory landscape would be favorable to tech companies, allowing them to innovate and expand without too much interference. But the reality has turned out to be more complicated. Governments around the world are becoming more cautious about the power of big tech, and regulations are starting to tighten. This is particularly true in areas like data privacy and AI ethics. For this tech leader, which is deeply involved in AI, these regulatory challenges can slow down progress, add costs, and create uncertainty. Tom Lee's revised outlook takes these potential regulatory hurdles into account, recognizing that the path forward is not as clear as it once seemed. Despite all of these challenges, it's important to note that Tom Lee is not bearish on the company. He's not saying that the tech leader is in trouble or that it's going to lose its position as a leader in the tech space. What he's saying is that the landscape has changed, and investors need to adjust their expectations accordingly. This powerhouse is still a leader in the GPU market, and it's still at the forefront of AI innovation. The company has a lot going for it, from its cutting-edge technology to its strong brand and loyal customer base. But the headwinds it faces are real, and they're going to make the journey to 2025 more challenging than many initially thought. Next, let's see how Intel is carrying out its move. Intel has always been a major player in the chip-making world, standing alongside AMD and Nvidia. When it comes to artificial intelligence, AI, the company is not just watching from the sidelines, it is in the game, making significant moves and pushing its technology in new directions. To really understand this corporation's role, it is worth exploring some of its past innovations and where it is heading now.
Today, we're proud to announce our newest Core Ultra processor, codenamed Lunar Lake.
Back in the day, the tech giant made big strides with two key processor types, IA32 and IA64. These are not just technical names, they represent major stages in computing history that helped shape the way computers work today. First, there's IA32, which stands for Intel Architecture 32-bit. This processor came onto the scene in the mid-1980s and was a game changer. It allowed computers to handle more data, making them faster and much more efficient. This architecture became the backbone of many personal computers of that era, giving them the ability to run better software and manage more complicated tasks. Then came IA64, a bold attempt to leap into the future of computing. This time, the company teamed up with Hewlett-Packard HP to create the Itanium processor. Unlike IA32, this processor was designed to excel in running multiple processes in parallel, which was supposed to make it ideal for demanding computing tasks. However, IA64 struggled to live up to expectations. Performance issues and compatibility challenges meant that it was not widely adopted outside of large enterprise systems. In response, the industry shifted toward an architecture called x86-64, which offered better compatibility and performance. In the end, IA64 simply could not keep up with the competition. Fast forward to today, and this tech giant has shifted its focus towards integrating AI capabilities into its processors. The company knows where the tech industry is headed, and AI is at the center of it all. One of its major innovations is the Advanced Matrix Extensions, AMX, introduced with their Sapphire Rapids architecture. AMX is specifically designed to make AI and machine learning processes run faster and more smoothly by handling complex calculations more efficiently. It is like giving the chip an extra set of muscles specifically for lifting the heavy weights that I need. The company's push into AI is not just about hardware, it is also thinking about software developers. The APC Acceleration Program is an initiative aimed at supporting developers, giving them the resources they need to create AI applications optimized for its hardware. By providing these tools and support, it ensures that its chips are not only powerful, but are also utilized to their full potential by developers around the world. Even with tough competition from companies like AMD, Nvidia, and Qualcomm, this organization's see, experience, and resources give it some serious advantages. The company is willing to partner with others to make progress. A notable example of this is its collaboration with ARM. Together, they are supporting startups that are working on AI technologies, offering assistance in areas such as funding, intellectual property, and even manufacturing. This strategic partnership helps expand its influence in the AI industry without needing to create all the innovations themselves. The company is not just following industry trends, it is aiming to set them. While Nvidia might be leading in some areas of the AI market, particularly with graphics processing units, GPUs, that are popular for AI training, and AMD is providing solid alternatives. This firm is betting on a more well-rounded approach. They are making sure their processors are not only strong for AI tasks, but are also versatile enough to handle general computing needs. This adaptability is their strength. Their strategy for AI integration focuses on making AI part of everyday computing. Instead of solely targeting massive data centers or specialized tasks, the company aims to bring AI capabilities to personal computers, making everyday tasks faster, smarter, and more intuitive. Whether it is improving voice recognition, enhancing real-time translation, or making video calls clearer, its chips are designed to bring these improvements right to the home computer. It is evident that this chipmaker sees AI as more than just a trend. They see it as the future of computing. Their journey, including the ups and downs of IA64, has provided them with valuable lessons. Today, they are positioning themselves not just as a competitor, but as a key player, ready to shape the future of AI technology and how it will fit into daily life. The challenges are certainly there, especially with other tech companies constantly pushing forward, but their history of innovation suggests they are more than capable of keeping pace. Whether they will emerge as the undisputed leader in AI remains to be seen, but they are certainly making a compelling case for themselves. The company's ambitions do not stop with personal computing. It has been making moves in the data center market as well, where AI workloads are rapidly growing. The need for data processing and analysis has never been greater, and this firm is positioning its hardware to meet this demand. Their Xeon processors, for instance, are designed with AI and machine learning in mind. These processors include built-in AI accelerators that can manage the massive datasets that modern AI applications rely on, all while maintaining efficiency. Another interesting development from this tech leader is their focus on edge computing. Edge computing refers to the practice of processing data closer to where it is generated, rather than relying on distant cloud servers. This approach is becoming increasingly important for AI applications that need real-time processing, like those used in autonomous vehicles or smart cameras. Their processors are being tailored to enable edge devices to run AI tasks efficiently, reducing latency and improving the performance of these systems. On top of that, they have recognized the importance of open ecosystems. They are contributing to open source AI frameworks and tools, which allows developers from all over to work with their technology more easily. By promoting an open approach, the company ensures that its technology is compatible with a wide range of AI applications and can be integrated into various environments without much hassle. This strategy is crucial because it helps them compete with companies that have more specialized AI solutions, like Nvidia's CUDA platform, which has a strong hold on the AI developer community. Their research and development teams are also putting a lot of effort into neuromorphic computing, which is a type of computing that tries to mimic the human brain. Their experimental chip, called Loihi, is designed to handle information in a way that is similar to how neurons process data. The hope is that this technology could lead to major breakthroughs in AI, making machines that can learn and adapt in more human-like ways. It is still in the early stages, but if successful, it could give the company a significant edge in the AI race. Beyond neuromorphic computing, the organization is looking at quantum computing as another potential area for AI innovation. Quantum computers have the potential to solve problems that are practically impossible for traditional computers, and they're exploring how this could be applied to AI tasks. While quantum computing is still far from being ready for everyday use, the research they're doing could pay off in the long term especially as AI models become more complex and require more computational power. So, could neuromorphic and quantum computing lead to truly conscious machines? Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more.